But also, I want to talk about what Alliance has said in the interview beforehand, because they said they have something prepared. What will it be? Will it be a new line? Will it be just a new pick? Maybe something like Dive, or Dive is the ban. Who knows? I have no idea. I'm as surprised as you guys because they were not leaking anything. Also not backstage.
Yeah, they managed to keep everything airtight and locked up. Everything zipped up. Not any trace of leaks to be noted over the course of the weekend to see whether or not they could pull off something special whenever it counts the most. And already this is a very, very important match because yes, top 4 locked in, and yeah, the winner goes through to the grand final. There is no rematch, no second chances, as we are in a single elimination bracket situation.
Yeah, but you had to also qualify for that at the beginning. So this is not an easy task to do. But I do think, I mean, Spam, who's also streaming his Alliance POV, is also streaming it. I mean, obviously he thinks that he believes in his teammates or in his team, and in this case, I do think that he has. I mean, obviously he has his prediction.
He has a valid reason to believe so because yeah, Alliance have had some very, very strong showing since the beginning of the weekend, starting from Friday on with that 4-1 victory that they managed to get in the group stage. If we can get back the group stage bracket just to get a little bit of a gander at the journey that Alliance had over the course of this competition. But yeah, Alliance pretty much undefeated. Yeah, 4-1 versus Big, and then that 4-2 win that came very, very close to so closely fought maps, but ultimately the Alliance managing to prevail in that situation. So yeah, having the upper hand and having a really, really good boost in confidence and morale as a result of this.
Yeah, so Alliance played really well against both teams. If you take a look into the direct comparison, both teams went 4-1 against Big. Yeah. So that is something to consider. And guys, we will be starting with a pick and ban here very soon. And again, a quick shout out to our sponsors. We have already mentioned it, but I think we cannot stress it enough. AMD, Caporal, and Alienware. Thank you very much for contributing tremendously to this event. Without that, the event would have not been possible in this way. But the pick and ban has started. Let's see what will happen and what surprises we are going to see. Backflip is the first ban, obvious after seeing the line from Muda.
Obvious counter ban rather on the side of Solary with Edge being banned. Okay, already playing a little bit of a thorn on the side of Solary there. And first pick will be Tubes as the opener. We'll get to see Tubes for the first time today. Okay, this is interesting. And then immediately followed up by Cosmos, picked by Pack for Solary.
Okay, that is interesting to see. So Tubes, is that the surprise? What will we see there? And then we can also see Tempest being picked by the top seed, by Alliance, who are blue team, so they are the top seed in this match. So Tempest and also Twisted, so Cosmos and also Twisted are pretty similar in the style. So there you go.
Cosmos and Twisted, pretty similar in style indeed. Tempest in third map. Dive will be the final pick from the Alliance, as map 5, map 6 will be Valley, picked by Pack, and then Surf will be the decider for Game 7.
Yeah, there you go. So pick and ban locked in. And let's jump into a very good map, Tubes. I did not expect Tubes being picked. Might be one of the maps that has hardly been picked. I mean, there was a lot of shenanigans going on.
We did see it as the decider over the course of the weekend, and we did see it as the opener once over the course of the weekend. So it is definitely not an uncommon occurrence to see that over the course of this particular final stage. Although, yeah, as an opener, it's not that popular of a pick.
Yeah, I agree with that. So good luck and have fun to the teams. You have to win 4 maps in order to move on into the grand final. The loser takes 3rd, 4th position. Solary versus Alliance. Here we go. Carl Jr. and Pack versus Muda and Soja.
And thus we go on Tubes for our opening map here in this best of 7 series. Tubes, where the core of this map is going to be, of course, the tube flips, especially the ones at the ending. 2 tube flips back to back, where you have to be very, very precise at the landing. Of course, the staircase as well can have a very important role to play towards Sector 1. Sector 2, where you have a very, very sandy section through the right, then left, a little bit of a dip in the water, then regain the grip in the dirt. And then, of course, the identity, as we mentioned a little bit earlier on, with those pipe flips. And the final pipe flip before the finish line, where you have to have a 3/4 rotation before having the proper bounce. As we make our way through to round 1, we are underway for the first semi-final of the day. Alliance versus Solary for 1 place in the grand final.
Quickly had to search where my mouse was, but there you go. We figured it out. It is Pack and Carl Jr. battling it out against Muda and Soja. Nothing has been decided here just yet, as we also are seeing Pack and Muda with a great start. Muda flipping so far up there, having a lot of speed there. and it is Pack in the lead. Carl Jr. a bit further behind. The 5-time world champion currently is behind. And Muda and Soldier with a good start here, but look at that. It is still a very open round.
Carl Jr. being set back down to P4 because of the very, very high line that he had at the very first pipe flip. So he will be consigned to P4 for now through the second and third sector, but he's still trying to find an opportunity to catch back up to Muda and Soldier in second and third. Right now it's still Pack holding the lead steadily for Team Solary to try and salvage a draw from this, but what a landing from Muda as Pack is looking to have a lot lower speed, but they're going to be side by side through the final tube, and it's going to be a fall off the pipe for Pack, forcing him to respawn and thus giving the ace for the Alliance at the end of this first round with a 104.432. Damage control mode has not been properly switched on, and it showed on the final tube.
I think this pick caught Solary off guard a little bit, and it is the ace for Alliance here. So great performance. Not the fastest times, but just a consistent performance seals the deal. And with that, they get themselves that first 3 points, and we can already see the first mistake by the 2016 world champion from the United Kingdom. It is Pack with a respawn. Carl Jr. left alone, and Muda and Soldier can just play the format here and just go for that 1 point.
Yeah, but even though they can play the format, Muda decides to show a little bit more than we could potentially bargain for here with those kind of situations that are heavily favorable for the Alliance. Carl Jr. in the meantime still holding on to the lead, trying to bring at the very least 1 point on the scoreboard for Team Solary as Muda slows down dramatically just before the Beef-Paf section, dipping the tire into the water at this point through the left-hander. Now through the final sector, the identity to start the first pipe flip there.
Okay.
Carl, Muda, and Soldier. Carl still holding a pretty good lead of about half a second there before the final pipe. Huge slowdown from Muda, allowing Soldier to move up into second place. Doesn't get the proper bounce and will be consigned into the pool. Carl, Muda, first and second pass, forced to respawn.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. It will still be Soldier third, so it will be the draw that will keep the Alliance 3 points ahead, and Solary still managed to get 1 point for their efforts.
Yeah, so Pack not able to finish there, and it is a DNF, and it is 4-1. So only Carl Jr. able to survive there, but 1.2 seconds away from the world record from Mime. So that is not the fastest time that we have seen on this map thus far, but it is enough to win rounds, especially if it's so hectic at the start. So there you go. Let's go into round number 3 and see what Soldier and Muda have prepared here. It looks they're just very consistent on this map and just try to force mistakes from their opponents.
Yeah, indeed, and looks like they're going to be trying to right the wrongs on the Solary side to try and make themselves a bit of a better showing into round 3. Through the first sector we go, and the first pipe flip is nice and clean. Everybody regrouped within half a tenth of a second. 52 milliseconds between first and last at the start of sector 2. Heading through this platform part, make sure to avoid dipping your wheel in the water to avoid losing too much grip.
Wow,
now Muda having to be
start.
forced to slow down. That's a great stuff being displayed by the Solary camp. Sector 3 underway, and it will be Carl and Pack having put 2/10 of a gap between themselves and the Alliance.
So Carl Jr. and Pack here with a prime position to get that ace in this round. Oh, but Pack now with a good line, slowing down a lot, allowing both Alliance players to overtake here. And let's see what Muda can do in the ending. Oh my god, holding so much speed, but it will not be enough to overtake. But look how much he gained there in terms of speed. So this, I think, has a lot of potential, and it is another draw. Carl Jr. with an okay time, winning the round with a 104.62, and it's another draw. So Pack doesn't really find himself into the match thus far.
Yeah, doesn't seem to find himself dialed in quite fast enough to be able to kind of get a proper landing, because that was really the landing at the first pipe flip that cost Pack dearly on this particular run, and that has cost ultimately Solary the potential to actually catch back up and level the playing field as early as round number 3. But now to round 4 we go. They are going to give it another crack, that's for sure. As we're moving through sector 1 pretty briskly here will be Carl, Muda, Pack, Soldier through the splits, 32,000 apart.
Yeah, very close round here. 32,000 different approaches being utilized there as well. Pack and Muda with that left flip tied to the checkpoint, now 100 apart. And Carl Jr. and Soldier are also fighting it out. Good round coming into play. Very important for Solary to stay alive on this map, on the surprise pick by Alliance. And it is Muda currently leading the round here. This is looking really good for Muda as he is fighting it out with Pack. Let's take a look into the identity.
Onto the third and final sector we go with the first pipe flip. This is where Pack had a little bit of his wild moment there, and this time it is Soldier and Pack both left by the wayside, leaving it to Muda and Carl Jr. to decide. Carl going solo onto the final pipe, but it will not be enough to catch up to the Australian player from the Alliance, signing a 104.072. Soldier Soldier coming up the better for wear from the strugglers at the first pipe flip, and thus will be finishing in third place, allowing the Alliance to extend their lead and reach map point number 1. 7-3 for the blue side.
Such a messy map or ending in this sector here, and Alliance extends their lead to 4 points here. So track point for them if they can find an ace that they've already done in round number 1. So good performance so far, and everything looks controlled here for Soldier and Moda. However, Moda not getting the best start, just making a mistake before the freewheel section. Pack and Carl Jr. are also in the mix, and now Soldier has to deny the ace.
Here we go then, start of Sector 2 with the pipe flip, with Soldier currently sitting pretty in second position. Pack still sitting in the lead with a pretty comfortable 2/10 advantage at the start of Sector 2. Now Carl Jr. catching back up to Soldier, moving up into second position, just ahead of the Belgian, who continues to go wheel to wheel with the Canadian. Unfortunately for Mudda, he's been forced to respawn, so it's all down to Soldier now to hold it onto Sector 3.
Let's go into the identity of Soldier with a beautiful uphill here, having a lot of speed and is neck and neck with Carl Jr. releasing a bit beforehand, gets a good entry there, has a bit more speed than Carl. Carl will be able to hold the gear, but it is Soldier with more speed. Soldier can make it happen, Pack with a good line, Soldier with a good flip here, but Pack along with a mistake, Soldier with a snipe! Are you kidding me? What an ending was that, and the momentum swings back to Alliance.
And you can already see the agitation on Mudda's face, just witnessing what just happened there. And yeah, what an ending from Soldier, committing for the super low line at the final flip and getting the proper bounce as well, because he was carrying so much forward speed as well, so much longitudinal speed. It could have been oh so wrong if he got a little bit too far into the splash.
Yeah, wow, what an ending there from Soldier. Also utilizing this low line there, or like high into low approach in that staircase. So Soldier just doing it so well there, but also Carl Jr. with a good flip will have a lot of speed in exchange, but right now falls down to P number 4 temporarily. And look at that, the blue team is swarming out. They need a victory, and then this map is over, Geek. So let's see, Pack has to get first, Carl Jr. also on second preferably, but it's such a close round right now.
It is indeed a close round. Now Mudda moving back up to third place. It's Pack being shuffled to the back of the field at the start of Sector 3 with a very, very wonky exit from the PFAP section. Now onto the identity, the first pipe flip. It's CJR in the lead fight of Soldier and Mudda. And we do have a little bit of a pipe flip incident on the side of Soldier, not having the proper landing. And now Pack overtaking Mudda for second place, but forced to overcorrect. Can he try to retaliate? Carl Jr. on the front for Mudda. It's not enough this time for 16 milliseconds. 0.028 versus 8.4, courtesy of Mudda. It is still map point for the Alliance. 3 points of a lead still. 1 ace that they can see coming, but they only need an individual second place to get that first map in the books.
It seems like Solary woke up there on that last round, finding that victory, but still they need an ace now, or it will be over for them on the first pick from Alliance. Let's see, Alliance only need of a second position, then this map is over, and we're gonna go to Cosmos, the first pick from Team Solary. Let's see, let's follow Pack here for his very low flip compared to Soldier as well, and it is also Mudda in the mix. It's such a close round here again, Geek.
It is indeed a really, really close round. Less than a tenth of the split between first and last. Maybe Soldier being left by the wayside after the 180 left-hander with the water in the middle. Now the P5 section and Mudda going full send, moving up into the lead ahead of Pack for the lead of the race. Currently Pack trying to retaliate through the long left-hander and right-hander in the dirt through the first pipe flip, but the identity Pack versus Mudda. Carl Jr. forced to concede, forced to yield. Pack versus Mudda. It's going to be down to the wire once again through the final pipe flip. Pack carrying so much speed, managing to keep the two-wheel contact. Mudda cannot answer that back. 0.181, and Solary, unfortunately for them, it was not enough to continue through. It is the Alliance taking the first map on a 10-8 score. It was a wake-up that we witnessed from Solary a few rounds earlier, but it was too little too late in the end.
Yeah, it was too little too late, and this 1 point there was enough. But what a great performance then from all the players there in the ending. And we go to our second pick now from the red team, from Solary. It will be Cosmos, a map that we have seen a lot of close fights today on, and also an insane ending from Stufts.
Yeah, indeed, and that ending is really our main point of focus for us, because whenever we see the splits, that how close they are over the course of the entire map, and you see this section right there with so many opportunities to try and go for the absolute latest apex you can in those two sets of corners, the left-hander, then the right-hander. There is a lot of opportunities for overtaking there.
Yeah, and the question now is that what Alliance prepared? Is it just the pick? Will it be something else? what will it be? Tempest is their next pick, and then it will be Dive. Of course, that is something very unique. I mean, Dive being a pick where Pack and Calgina did not look that good on. So I do think that we definitely have 6 maps to be played if they have prepared that. Keep in mind, this is Solary's pick, and Pack and Calgina are doing their homework right now.
Yeah, they are getting down to business right now as early as round 1 through the top-down section, marking the start of Sector 2. And currently, it is Pack and Carl tandeming this together, trying to widen the gap a little bit, giving themselves a little bit of room to breathe, a little bit of room to manage the race from the front, as we currently witness Solja trying to have a little bit of a naysay about this and continuing to try and pile on the pressure on the legendary duo. But this time it will be Solja having the no slide before the start of Sector 3, and that blows the road wide open for Pack and Carl.
Yeah, Muda and Solja both are quite far behind, as you can see here. Muda, 0.5 of a second it is for him. For the Thunder from down under, we can just see Pack and Calgina in the distance there. So they will just take that ace, and also with good times here, Pack in the lead, and look at that, a 112.98 to start off all things. Very good time, and Solary now with the ace in round number 1.
Already dipping below the 113 realm from round 1, and this is a very, very strong response from Solary compared to the rather rocky start that they had on Tubes a little bit earlier on. Following along with the perspective from the quintuple world champion, Carl Jr., 2013, 14, 15, 21, 22, of course. Will he be looking to add 23 to his tally? There's only one way to find out. Currently his teammate Pack hanging around, battling for second position versus Solja, trailing the Belgian by just a few hundredths of a second. And right now, top through bottom, it will be 2/10 apart, and just a really, really high-speed train forming up.
Oh, I just checked. Solary has an average on this map of 113.6. That is the PB of some players that we have seen, like not on the Worlds, but just beforehand in the event. So that is insane to see, and Pack and Calgina have never lost this map when they played it. So that is just a great display of skill, and right now they're leading again, first and second for them. Let's take a look on the Solja, because he's not that far behind Muda, who's on 3rd position right now. Good line from them as well. Pack and Calgina going very wide there to have a good exit there, and let's see, can they win this round here again? Muda with a good line as well. Let's jump into the identity. Calgina with a good drift, Pack in the lead right now, but Calgina not with the rest of on speed yet. It's Calgina coming closer though. Pack will get overtaken by Muda as well as Carl Jr. And look at that, Muda with a new PB and also forcing a draw.
What a race, 0.045 and then a 0.066 followed by a 0.1 behind him. Less than a tenth between first and third. That is as close as it can be here on Trackmania. Great racing on the part of the top 3 as we're making our way through round 3 right here, right now. Making our way through to the hairpin. Let's see if there's going to be any clashes, any lost gears. And yes, indeed, on the side of Pack, we have lost a lot of speed because of that poor setup through the tight 180 hairpin, but also a lot of speed lost by Muda there at the exit of the plastic. So Pack will move back up to 3rd, but the rift has already been created between the top 2 and the bottom 2 at the end of Sector 1.
The door was open there for Alliance to capitalize from that small mistake from Pack, but Muda with a small clip there himself. And let's see what will happen as Carl is in the lead and Solja is having to push it because his teammate dropped further down the line. Pack even overtook him, and it is now, could be Solary extending their lead here if Carl Jr. gets himself that 1st position.
Belgium versus Canada right now. Solja versus Carl Jr. Currently it is advantage to Solja at the split, heading into the 180 scanning flick to the right-hander, trying to drive the tires as quickly as we can. This time it's Carl Jr. retaliating and retaking the lead away from Solja, but he's still in hot pursuit. Pack in 3rd, still having to be wary of Muda behind him. Can Solja try to go for the very late apex? The answer is going to be a no for 6,000ths of a second. 0.245 versus a 0.251 for Solja. It is a victory for Solary, who are getting on the verge of getting a match point, on map point even.
Yeah, match point not yet, but this could surely happen. But I think we have to play for a bit longer there, as it is 2-6. Alliance can still bounce back, preferably with an ace in this round, as Solary is having a comfortable lead of 4 points already accumulated to their belt. Anyways, let's jump into the next round. Oh, Solja catching airtime, Pack also a little bit, so they are losing a bit of time compared to Muda and Carl, who are now in the lead. So there you go, Muda with a good line. They're going so close there to the inside, so he still finds himself with the lead. Solja, however, nowhere to be seen, very far behind, and it's again looking good for Solary.
Pack still quite a ways away from the top 2 fight where he would most likely like to be competing at. Currently it is Muda, currently ahead of Carl Jr. by less than a tenth of a second. Let's say 6 to 700ths of a second at the split. You can see the gap has been slightly shrunk down to about half a tenth as we make our way into Sector 3 right here, right now. And it will be the Australian taking a firm lead. What an insane entry into Sector 3 signed by Moda. Let's see what the split says before the identity. It's a 0.135. This is looking really, really good here for the Alliance player. And then Carl and Pack regrouping together, tandeming this for second and third to ensure the draw stands and thus not allowing the Alliance to get any kind of advantage. And yes, a 1:12.961, a great time, less than a tenth away from the best time from Gwen that you can see on the top left, or a 0.886.
3 to 7 it is, so it is track point for Solary. And I mean, it has been quite close for Solary on tubes. They could have taken it eventually, but they did not really find themselves into the match. Let's see if Alliance can also find themselves in a way to win, maybe win on Cosmos. So let's see. Carl Jr. with a great start. Again, Soldier a bit further behind. Also Muda now losing the speed, and that is exactly what Pack and Carl Jr. are in need of. They need an ace to win this map.
And this time it will be Muda and Soldier having a few issues of their own, a few hiccups through the start and through the entirety of Sector 1, which is going to be giving the greatest opportunity there for Solary to capitalize on that. The door has been blown wide open, except at this point for Carl Jr., where he had a very, very slow exit from the plastic hit. This is now the opportunity to strike for Soldier and Muda, and already they're getting down to work to howl on the car from the Solary camp. Right now it's still Belgium versus Canada. Australia's Muda is still looking to be a little bit further behind.
It is Pack leading. He's long gone. He has first locked in. The question is, can Carl Jr. defend Soldier's attack in the ending? Good line from Soldier coming closer, but it seems that Carl Jr. will have it a bit more speed. It's so close. It is only 100th of a second, and this is map 2 being secured. Solary 1, Alliance 1.
Yeah, and this time winning in a very, very strong fashion, winning their map pick the right way after giving Alliance a lot more trouble than they would have ever asked for on their opening map pick. That was, of course, Tubes. And now we're going to be moving on to our third map, Tempest. We're back on an Alliance pick.
Yeah, back on an Alliance pick. And I mean, Carl Jr. made some mistakes here yesterday, and it looks like that they're just utilizing that one. So in-depth analysis was coming in there from Alliance, and I do like their pick and ban phase also then. As map number 5, we're gonna see Dive. So they have the pick and ban advantage that they are the upper seed, so they can pick map 1, 5, and 1, 3, and 5.
1, 3, and 5. Yeah, the first maps in the sequence, whereas the second maps in the sequence are courtesy of the lower seeded team, of course, as they are trying to give themselves maybe a little bit of a lifeline versus a very, very racy Alliance team. As we're underway with round 1 on map 3, it will be the whole shot for Pack with a 0.119 just before the first ice slide here of this map, going very close to the apex here on the side of Soldier. Good setup for the wall ride. Pack already moving ahead by about a tenth. Just before the wall ride rang the bell, onto the first sector we go. Pack, Carl, Soldier, top 3.
Muda not with a great start. They're losing half a second. Good POV to follow right now to see how good the players are, because Muda's actually catching up a little bit, but still it's so hard to just catch up half a second on this highly competitive match. As Pack finds himself the lead, he's on a great time. Carl Jr. on 3rd position, and he clipped this corner here, and he went so close to it yet again. So he has not made a mistake this time around. Pack on a great time, but maybe eats the penalty surface a bit too much, so he lost a bit there. But still, it is Soldier not safe just yet in that 2nd place. But now it is Pack with a very unusual mistake, so all of a sudden it could be the ace for Alliance. Let's see what Muda can do, as Muda gets a good identity as well. He can overtake Carl Jr., who didn't get the best landing. He wobbles a bit, but he will still stay ahead by 14,000ths of a second.
That is such a shame for Pack, looking very, very good from the beginning of that round. And Carl Jr. also within striking distance of actually catching up to Soldier and demoting him down to 3rd, and thus allowing Solary to take a very surprising and very needed ace to actually really try to punch the table a little bit and say, hey, we can also take your picks.
Yeah, we can also take your picks there. But, I mean, so far it is Alliance leading. So 2-1 it is, but also capitalizing from Pack's mistake. Unusual mistake in the identity, because Cosmos, I've talked about the average, they hardly made mistakes on that map. And now it is Pack who has made a mistake on the first round here on the 2nd pick from Alliance, which is Tempest. So let's jump into the round. Muda not so far behind, actually in the lead right now with Carl Jr., Pack, and himself, of course, and it is Soldier on 4th position right now, so he needs to catch up a bit, but Muda with a slide out.
Unfortunately, yeah, he lost the grip at the very tipping point of this corner where he was running very close to the flag mast, so we are one man down on the side of the Alliance as Carl and Pack will take full advantage and then some of that opportunity given by the Alliance. Soldier trying to compensate with a good acceleration point, but so far still trailing by a few hundredths of a second. The Solary duo, Pack and Carl, continuing to hold 1st and 2nd in that particular order. The final jump spin section, Soldier is way too far back to pose a threat, and thus it will be the ace that they were looking to get through in round 1. Coming in round 2, and what a time from CJR, a .392, followed by a .494 for Pack.
Yeah, good times there, very hard to beat that, and it is Solary gaining control here. It is 4-2 in favor for them, and they look that they can snatch this one away from Alliance, but it's too early to call. We're not even halfway through here. It is now going into round number 3. A victory for Alliance is what they're in need of. And let's see if this happens. Jr. not really getting too much of the booster there, so he sacrificed a lot of speed, but then getting a good jump into that section. So he still finds himself in there. Look at that, 24,000 of a second between 1st and last.
Also, Muda going very aggressive to the edge of the ring there at the second part of the long banked right-hander just before the end of Sector 1. Very nice to see there. In the meantime, going through the ice line from the perspective of Pack, very close to the flag mast. Everybody makes it through nice and clean, no loss of grip whatsoever, and it's still as close as ever, a 10th between 1st and last at the start of Sector 3 now.
It is so close between them. Jr. and Pack having the upper hand. Muda with a good approach there. Soldier also has it around here. Oh, but Soldier misses the checkpoint, and this is disaster happening because Muda is being left alone. He needs to win that round, else they're falling more and more behind. But Muda's in the lead. Such a close round. Jr. with a great jump there. Coming closer. Muda too far out. Pack with a bit more speed by the looks of it. Who's going to get that 2nd position? It is Pack staying ahead, and Muda demotes to P number 3.
And again, those times, .336 for Carl Jr., 800ths ahead of Pack, who scores in, as a matter of fact, a low .4. What a round from the Solary duo. Mana gave it a red hot go to keep up the pace and scores a really nice .4 still, but ultimately, it's not enough to even dislodge Mr. Thomas Cole.
Yeah, Thomas Cole on a roll there, but also Muda not with the most perfect identity. He lost a bit of time, and it was Solary just punishing them for just that small mistake. And of course, Soldier not getting that checkpoint, being too greedy on the accelerator there, and well, accelerating too early. But let's jump into the next round. A new round, new chances for Alliance. So let's see, they have to deny the ace towards them.
They have indeed to go for the full denial right now. They have their backs against the wall. 3 aces back-to-back. There is no possible other outcome to snatch the victory away from the Johnson defeat. But right now, Soldier unfortunately missing the grip and losing the grip and sliding out of that particular corner. So midway through Sector 2, we'll see his run, and it will be all down to Muda to keep the Dreamer alive at the very least for one more round heading into Sector 3. Great reacceleration point on the part of the Australian.
Yeah, it is between Muda and Carl Jr. They have been playing so often against each other in the Trackmania Grand League last year, and now it is Muda in the lead. Can he do it this time? As Carl Jr. has a good entry there, and Muda will not deny the... Oh my god, the draw there, and you could have also heard that scream there. I think that was Pack again. What a great ending there from Carl Jr., just getting a bit more speed, magically.
Perfect ending from Carl Jr., and yeah, we heard that scream from our perspective, and also fist bumps all around in the Solary camp as they managed to salvage a victory from that whole situation with Pack. Maybe a little bit on the back foot this time around, but now they're in a much more palatable situation here as they find themselves with just one single point needed. And again, Alliance with it all to do to, at the very least, level the gap back out.
They need 2 aces in a row now to force like the little overtime already. Solary in need of a 2nd place in the next 2 rounds, and right now they just want to get 1st and 2nd to assert dominance and bring the momentum back into their way on Twisted then after that, which is their 2nd pick.
And unfortunately, it looks as though the writing is on the wall with that unfortunate notification you see up there on the right-hand side. Soldier forced to respawn. He's 4.5 seconds down almost. It's all down to Moda to finish and uphold the honor individually, speaking of the Alliance. But Solary have got this round under lock and key. They are looking to get the lead in the proceedings. It doesn't matter if Pack goes for a bit of a deeper run through the reverse booster section. As long as someone finishes second individually, it is completely gone. And we are going through the final jump spin. Moda clearly ahead by 3/10 ahead of Pack and Carl. I'm kind of curious to see what the time will be, but ultimately the result will go the way of Solary. But what a time! A .091 for the Australian from the Alliance. Talk about finishing this map with a bang, upholding the individual honor, but that mistake from Soldier very early on at the very first jump spin, as a matter of fact, has cost them dearly, and thus they end 10-4 for Solary, who take the lead.
Wow, what a great time there. I did not expect that. I thought that Carl Jr. and Pack were just saving it, but no, it was Moda actually just being on a good time, setting a new world record on this map. So that is a nice time from him. And now we're going to go to a map, but it seems like we have a small pause there coming into play. And we are seeing the next map, which is Twisted.
Twisted indeed. The more tech-focused, the more classical focused map in this entire map pack that we've seen over the course of the Trackmania World Championship. Really, really flowy by nature, but then having a few stop-and-go sections, those two snake runs, with the Identity one being capped off by an especially deceptive final left-hander. That is a bit off camber, so you risk running a little bit of airtime, having Giga fall away to the outside, hit the wall, and completely compromise your run. Yeah,
so this is a nice map also for Pack and Carl Jr., as they're just really good on tech. I mean, they're tech world champions, and they have also just, I mean, they're the GOATs, so it will be hard to beat them on this map for Alliance, and I mean, they just lost their second pick. So they have to pull the trigger on one of the next two maps. The map after that will be Dive. So Carl Jr. and Pack didn't look that good on this, and let's see what they can do on Twisted for now. The map of 1,000 corners. Here we go, Pack and Carl Jr. in the lead, and let's go into the first round.
It's time to turn up the wick right now for Alliance as they seek to try and claw that gap back and try to trade the map that they lost for the map pick from Solary. Currently at the end of the first sector through this long wall ride, it's Carl Soldier going wheel to wheel with Pack in third place. Moda MP4 hard on the brakes for the first hairpin there, marking the start of the first snake run. Through that second sector we go. We see Pack losing a lot of time there at the start of that snake run, and now we see Soldier actually getting a little bit closer to the inside. Everybody regroup within about 1.5 car lengths there or thereabouts wider as we go through this second sector with that triple right-hander. Nice setup by Carl Jr. Moda still holding onto the lead barely as we start sector 3 with a 45.188 of the splits.
Yeah, very good round here between Carl Jr. and Moda. Let's jump into the fight here as we can see Carl Jr. with a great dive overtakes Moda here. Soldier also the next Pack magically also in there, finally in contention for that second place. Pack, where are you coming from? Pack, what are you doing to your opponents? Pack will not get that second place. He will get third due to a touch, but Soldier denying the ace there, and also Carl Jr. with a great time, even though he only quote-unquote got a 0.2 checkpoint.
Back with the most subtle of grazes of the inside wall, just past the final corner. That could have been such a great snipe, but ultimately I think he might not have panned out that much, because Soldier seemed to have had a much better run out of the corner, thus carrying it a little bit extra speed compared to the Englishman, thus would have been allowing him to retain that second place no matter what. In the meantime, through the first sector of the second round we go, it will be Pack, Carl, and Moda catching up big time through the wall ride.
Yeah, that is looking really good for them. Another highly competitive round is developing here. Look at that, only a couple of hundreds between the players, make it 1800s, but Soldier also not with the worst amount of speed as Carl Jr. finds himself in the mix as well, but Pack and Moda again are unstoppable. Moda is in there again and has a good entry there as well, but Carl Jr. with a good line as well, but I think he lost it a bit there. It is a .00 checkpoint. Pack on a monster time here. Let's take a look into the ending. Moda and Pack are fighting it out, and also Carl Jr. in the mix. This is so close. Soldier also in there. Let's take a look. Will this be the ace for Solary? No, it seems like Moda will deny it, but they're all on monstrous times. Where's everybody going? It's so close. It is Carl Jr. for the ace for Team Solary.
What a race to call. 1/10 between first and last. Pack making solid amends from his unfortunate setback midway through the first round, and what a way to do so with a .7 being clocked in and .8. Imagine that, you drive sub 104 and you still end up in last place.
Wow, what a round that was, and now of course the momentum swings tremendously towards Solary here. Carl Jr. with a great start. Pack is slowing down a bit, but what were those times, Tom? This was insane. This is Trackmania Esports, ladies and gentlemen, and let's see what will happen in this round as Carl Jr. and Soldier are fighting it out. Pack with a mistake, and it is Muda on third. Let's see what this battle will bring.
That was unfortunate for Pack, trying to hug it a little bit too far on the inside of the start of the snake run, and thus compromising his line through the negative camber, 180 left-hander, and thus it will be down to Carl Jr. to try and hold the fort. But we have a really, really wide setup on the side of Soldier, which is not really going to pay him any kind of dividends. 0.125, still a very, very stout sector from Carl Jr. here at the start of Sector 3. Heading into the identity now with Carl, Soldier, and Pack quite evenly spaced apart as Muda tries to make a challenge for third place, and now the challenge for second with Pack trying to come back with the final corner. Can he try to go for another ace for Team Solary, or will Soldier hold on? Soldier has the gap in the lead up to maintain that second place and prevent Solary from streaking away far too wide, and thus it will be Solary coming away with a victory. And on map point number 3, Alliance need really to flip the switch.
Yeah, they need to flip the switch, but what is going on here with Solary on this map? They're playing out of their mind, and they also have the best average on this map. 104.17 is the average on this map per round. This is just incredible. And Solary with track point, a very important one as we would go to dive after that. I do think that Soldier and Muda have the upper hand, but let's focus on this round because Pack is in the lead together with Soldier and Carl Jr., but falls a bit behind there.
Yeah, already a rift between top 2 and bottom 2, and so far it is CJR holding onto the lead, about a 10th ahead of Soldier, and already 3 tenths down. You can see Pack sitting in third place, doing battle with Muda to hold that third position at the very least to guarantee a victory for the Solary camp. Let's see what the split will be. 44.885. What
Fast
on
new
earth
seat
is
belt.
he doing? Qu'est-ce qui se passe, Carl Jr.? Ce secteur incroyable through the final turns we go. The final identity, CJR, and the absolute monster of a time of Soldier, also trying to have a little bit of a word in edgewise for that first place. He tries to go for broke, doesn't make it happen. What does the stopwatch say? A 0.515. It's a new world record. The time from Paco is beaten.
This guy is a monster. Carl Jr. with a new world record, beating the time from Pussy to Paco, which was just insane. But there you go, the crowd could also not believe it. What a time, but also Soldier with a 0.60 on second place. Guys, there you go. Solary 9-3, completely destroying Alliance on this map, giving them no chance here, but it's not over just yet. Soldier also with a great time there, and let's see what will happen in this round because it's another great round happening. It is Muda, Pack, and Carl Jr. fighting it out. Soldier not too far behind either.
Soldier not too far behind, but right now they need to go for first and second. Nothing else will suffice if they want to keep their hopes alive just for one more round. Muda trying to go on the attack, going on the prowl versus Carl Jr., continuing to hold the fort nicely. Pack moving up into third place. What's the split going to be? 45.0 still. Insane times. What on earth is this game of Twisted?
What is going on?
It is so close. Way too close to call. A huge stop pick from Muda. A good round going to waste. Pack, Carl, first, second. Can Soldier try to go for at least one snipe at the end? The answer is a no. Pack will be clocking it.
Yeah, just a 0.60. Yeah, of
still.
course.
A 10th ahead of his teammate, clocking it at 0.712. And with a score of 312, after probably one of the most insane displays of pace so far in this weekend, Solary are 2 maps up on the Alliance.
Oh, what was that map? It was just crazy. Like, what is that pace? Where is that coming from on Twisted? Oh my god, Solary with a great performance, but now we're gonna go to dive, which also Big has picked against Solary, and they have won this in a quite dominant fashion.
Yeah, this is a map where Solary were kind of caught off guard during the first match of the day versus Big. Let's see if they were able to kind of find maybe some last-minute solutions to try and mitigate the damage, because I feel like this pick from Alliance can give them just the amount of hope that they need to keep the series going. We're in game 5. And the Alliance, even though they're 2 maps down with that pick, I kind of see them crunching the gap back down to just 1 map between these two.
Yeah, I do think so as well. After that, we would have Valley. So let's see. Oh my god. Ooh, let's calm down, but this is why this is our favorite map, Tom, and we can already see 10 mistakes happening here kind of at the start compared to Twisted, where small things have decided the victory. Soldier, Carl Jr. and Pack already out, more than 1 second behind Muda, who leads the round right now. So this is a start where we can just take a breath and calm down a bit.
Yeah, Mudda not having put a foot wrong. The only driver not to have put a foot wrong. And it's always that very first deep dive that seems to catch so many people off guard, including, we've seen it yesterday, Otak from the Carmine Corp, where it was a little bit fits and starts. And the Solary guys are also getting caught out. Both actually, Pack and Carl Jr. Pack having a little bit more trouble, of course, over the course of the first game. And now Mudda having a clear road ahead, about a second of an advantage compared to the Solary duo. And it will be a draw to kick things off as Soldier is down in last place. It will be a 1-0-0.417, starting in a pretty sedate stride, let's say that.
I mean, compared to Twisted, we see a more calm way of starting this map, and let's see. I do not think that we're gonna see a new world record on this map because the time from Stufs has just been crazy. Have you actually seen a sub 1 minute time in the last 3 days?
I don't think so, no.
I
genuinely don't think so. The only sub 1 minute time was, of course, when the Airwalkers played that map in the middle stage, but that was all the way back in October, and it's still looking to have some pretty solid days ahead of it, as unfortunately we seem to have lost Carl Jr. at the very exit of the first deep dive.
Yeah, so it's Pack, Mudda, and Soldier fighting it out, and Pack, with a good line, Soldier sliding out there, and Mudda and Pack are now fighting it out for that first position. Luckily for Soldier is that Carl was able or had to respawn, so he's multiple seconds behind, and it can be a victory for Alliance.
It can be a victory for Alliance. Currently, Mudda trying to make that scenario happen. Pack trying to play the team game, trying to enforce a draw to prevent any kind of gap going the way of the blue side. As we go through the identity right now, Soldier quite a ways behind at about 2.2 seconds compared to the leading duo. Pack very, very close to hiding the wall. Is going to be safing it a little bit there, and Mudda will be winning with a .177.
Okay,
still a very, very solid time, almost up to 6 seconds. But with a 1-3 for the blue side, it will be the lead for the Alliance, 3-2.
Yeah, 3-2, and I think that's what the map score could be as well after that one, because Alliance looking more solid than their opponents here on this map. And I really like to just go back to the pick and ban. I like that, like, just logical going through, because backflip is of course the ban, because Mudda is strong on that newly found line, and then just utilizing what they have, banning an edge away from their opponents that they maybe didn't look that strong on. So very, very good analysis there from Alliance, I would say. And it is Mudda now in the lead. Pack and Carl Jr. fighting it out. No mistake has happened so far.
Yep.
So that is a more competitive round now here on Dive.
I think that's the first time so far on this map in this particular series that we have seen all 4 drivers managing to make it through Sector 1 unscathed, which is really the main pain point here on Dive as we go through Sector 3, the really, really high speed section, and Carl Jr. getting a much better speed slide compared to Soldier to move up into 3rd place. Right now, yet another draw would be enforced up until this point.
Ooh,
and
two
both Pack and
mistakes.
Carl, Pack on the inside, Carl on the outside, promoting Soldier from 4th to 2nd place, and thus the Alliance are headed to the ace there through this final slalom with quite the margin to hold, and Mudda decides to go for a little bit of a safer approach. .426, still respectable times being driven. 1/10 behind, we find his teammate Soldier, and thus the Alliance move on a 6-2 scoreline, 4-point lead ahead of Solary.
Yeah, 4-point lead, looking very good here for Alliance. Tubes and also Dive seem to work out for Alliance. Then after that there will be Valley, and I think this will be another very hectic map that comes into play, but it's too early to say that, as Alliance still has to get 4 more points. Pack and Carl Jr. not with a mistake. Carl Jr. so close there to the wall, almost come into contact with that, but no one made a mistake in this round as Carl Jr. had to respawn, and it is Pack, Mudda, and Soldier left alive.
Took the words right out of your mouth, but I think we really do need at some point a graphic just to show how close to the wall Carl Jr. was at that point, because it was so close to disaster, but ultimately it was disaster at the chicane just at the start of Sector 3. In the meantime, it will be Pack holding the lead for Solary, trying to bring at the very least a point home for 2nd position individually, but right now Mudda looking a lot faster through the speed slide section, taking over the lead ahead of Pack by 0.04 of a second. Soldier in hot pursuit in P3, going through the identity here right now, and it looks as though Soldier could try to snatch an opportunity to go for the ace, and Pack looks a little bit slower. He did enough, and that's a huge crash for both of them, actually. Both forced to respawn. Who is going to be coming out ahead of the other? It will be Pack, but barely ahead by 0.3 of a second, as it was a lot of damage here through that final slalom, and another .1 being driven by Mudda. .107, the Alliance with another victory, move themselves onto map point number 2 of their own making.
8-3 it is, so map point it is for them, and they can get it with another 1st and 3rd finish here. But I mean, also Pack just barely able to stay alive there, because in this identity it's very easy to slide out and then not make the last turn. Also have a messed up respawn, so this didn't occur for Pack, as we see Carl Jr. with a more conservative start, going so close there to every corner just to maximize the speed outcome. And it is Muda leading again. Very good performance, a 0.10 and a 0.17, and there's the crash from Pack. And I do think that it is over. It is Soldier and Muda who can save it. Carl Jr. also 0.4 behind.
Pack going way too far inside in this third deep dive right there before the corner, and thus will be hitting on the inside, and immediately the pinball machine impression to actually, unfortunately, force himself out of contention. And thus it's down to Carl Jr. to try and snatch at the very least some point away for Solace, but it will be all that it can do as Muda and Soldier still hold firmly onto the lead, and there will be nothing left pretty much for the Solary duo. And another 0.1, again, very, very consistent times and very fast times as well, driven by the Australian Soldier, a further 4 to 5 tenths behind, and on a score of 11-3. It will be the Alliance picking the map and thus bridging the gap back down to that 1 map difference.
Yeah, and also good performance for Muda on this map, just playing the safe anchor. 2.70s and 1.10 there from Muda, from the Penguin, so the Australian Penguin coming all the way from there. And there you go, we're gonna go to Valley. This will be such a hectic map to watch again. So many back and forth we have seen already on this one. And good luck to the team Solary. If they win it, they are in the grand final.
Yes, but now this is of course the last Solary pick that we're gonna have. Can the Alliance go for the trade on this map? They couldn't go for the trade on their last map pick, which was Tempest, which went the way of Team Solary, if I recall correctly. Now they have an opportunity that is golden to force this onto map number 7 as we go now underway for round 1, following the perspective of Carl Jr. right now for the start of this opening round.
Tempest went indeed towards Solary, but Muda did a world record in the last round, if you remember that, the 0.09. Great time, but of course we also got a treat in there with Twisted after that. But let's focus on this round here, because it's already a highly competitive round. We see a good start here from all the players. Oh, Carl Jr. slowing down a bit too much there just before the reset, and it's Soldier and Muda on first and second. That is what they're in need of. They have a beautiful start into this round.
Great start from Muda and Soldier. Unfortunately for Carl Jr., a little bit too much of a love bite on the inside for the Bug Slide Reactor Boost section. It's all down the pack to try and get at least 1 point in the back for Solary, but he touches on the outside wall at the exit of the very, very tight Bug Slide, and so that will be giving the firm upper hand to the Alliance as Muda leads by 4 tenths ahead of his teammate, who himself is 2 tenths clear of the nearest Solary member, as we'll be making our way through the final gate jump. This is looking very, very close actually on our side, but everything is all under control for the Alliance. And the time, it is a low 108.069 for Muda, 4 tenths clear of his teammate, and that is a strong statement of intent for the blue side.
What a great start here on the Valley here from Team Alliance. They can do it. They can force a last final map, which would be served. Let's focus on the round, because it's 3-0. Beautiful start. How well can they can they answer to that? Pack and Carl Jr., they need to get at least 2 points in this round to not fall further behind.
Yeah, they need to get at the very least a victory right now through the first sector. It is looking very, very promising as Pack and Carl lead at the split, but they also got Muda to be wary of, currently trying to split the duo apart in first through third right now through the reactor boost. This is where Carl Jr. had a little bit too much of an inside impact through that little ring that you see at the bottom there, and now through to sector 3 we go. That's offset jump to the right-hand side, setting yourself up for the long left-hander in the dirt. Good setup for Muda, but I was actually a little bit too close to the middle of the corner. Sector 3 rings the bell. Carl Jr. still locked in battle for Muda for second place, and Pack having a stellar lead.
Pack also on a really good time. Almost had a sub 40-second checkpoint there. 48.22 here from Pack, but almost he crashes almost in there. But also a great apex has been chosen there from both Muda and Pack. This could be another new world record if Pack sticks the identity in the ending again, going so close there. Muda has more speed, so I do not think that this will beat a 0.8 here. Okay, never mind. It's a 0.79 here from Pack. All right, good time. And let's move on to the next one. It's 4-1. Insane.
And if my math is right, I think that's the 3rd world record to have been beaten in a single series. Both teams just giving it their all to actually just obliterate the timesheets overall and just try to set the bar that much higher. Solary do end up with 1 point on the board, but there's still a lot to climb up.
Yeah, what a time. A 0.22 checkpoint there from him before the identity. And Pack, the Giga Chat is back as he drives another world record. Oh man, but now it is Muda and Soldier completely falling apart in this round. It is Carl Jr. and Pack being ahead after 2 small mistakes from both Alliance members.
Yeah, and this is the very corner of the window of opportunity that the Solary duo are looking to actually shoot for. So far it is Pack and Carl leading about first and second position, about 3/10 ahead of the Alliance duo. Going through Sector 3, the very, very tight bug slide with CJR in front of PAC. And right now it's looking very, very good. Through the identity we go. And now the first jump through the gates. Let's see how tight it is. It is looking very tight, but really nicely controlled on the side of the Englishman. It is a very, very slow landing though, allowing Soldier to come back up for a fight for second position. Can the Belgian try to make the move stick? He goes very, very close to the side of the gate, avoids it completely, sticks it all the way around the inside, and will be able to deny the ace for Solary to prevent the gap from being evened out. And a 108.091 for CJR, still showing a good effort, but ultimately Soldier proving to have done a really, really good end.
Okay, and Pack is just standing still. Okay, we have a round skip, so allowing us to have a small pause there, a small technical pause. So, wow, what a match so far. Also on Twisted, this was a treat. We had seen 3 world records, and also it were Carl Jr. and Pack both had the world record on Valley with that in their belt, under the belt already.
And yeah, I just can't stop thinking about Twisted. Just that 0.515 from Pack, and we thought that Paco's record would take some beating. In the end, it did take some beating because it was up until day 3 today that this record was beaten. But what a run to do it from the side of Pack, as he made it that much worth it to actually follow his run all the way through from beginning to end. A very, very stout middle sector that allowed for that opportunity to completely obliterate the timesheets.
Yeah, that was just great to see, but a small pause. What will that do to the players? Alliance in the lead on this map. I mean, Pack having some problems at the moment by the looks of it, because he didn't start the round, but we can only assume that, of course. But Alliance has to win this map. They need 5 points. What is their game plan?
What is their game plan? Well, I think they should just not let that pause the time for them to actually get unsettled. This is the main thing. Just keep yourself in your frame of mind. Maybe have a little bit of a talk with the other player to try and do some adjustments. But most importantly, try to maintain yourself in that right mental butter zone. Stick to the plans. Retain yourself in your zen position. And that will probably be the key for the Alliance to force this onto map 7.
Yeah, so before we jump then into the match, that gives us a good opportunity to talk about our sponsors. Caparel, AMD, and also Alienware. Thank you very much for contributing tremendously towards this World Championship and making this event possible. So there's also a giveaway that is still ongoing today.
Yep, it's the final day.
It's the final day, so make sure to check out the Twitter from Alienware.
Indeed, and just to give you a little bit of a rundown from the schedule for later on today, as we currently wait for these issues to be figured out on Pack's side. Here is, of course, a quick rundown of the bracket. As you can see, 4-1 for Solary versus Big at the beginning of the day, then Carmine Corp winning 4-2 versus Wild, and then, of course, we are right in the middle of that first semifinal between Alliance and Solary. Then, after that, we'll be into the Breach versus the Carmine Corp, which will be a very, very interesting match to follow, as whoever wins this match will also book a spot in the grand final, which will be a best-of-9 series at 8 p.m. CET.
Yeah, or even a bit earlier or later, depending on how long those matches will still be ongoing. But we could see a rematch between ITB and also Solary, who have already met in a very thrilling match yesterday. Well,
in Group A.
All going down to one last round. The score was 9-7.
Yeah, score was 9-7, and yeah, it would be very interesting to see whether we get a rematch of ITB Solary, the rematch from the winner bracket final of Group A, or if we end up with the French Esport Classical, that is Solary versus the Carmine Corp. These two have had a long rivalry and long history of rivalries together on various other games, including Trackmania, and with a little bit of luck, if the cards fall in the right place, we could witness that for a World Championship title in Trackmania, which would be absolutely bonkers.
Yeah, it would be bonkers indeed, but I think KC has to step up a bit. I mean, that's what also Bren and Otak said in the interview, but I think they also have their picks prepared. But, I mean, that is the match after that. Oh man, so many new world records on this match here, and you can also see Pack now getting back into the zone. So we're gonna start back again and resuming the match. So let's go. It is Alliance still in the lead, and it is 5-3. The issues have been resolved. We go into the next round.
All right, Alliance past the halfway point now. Can they take it all the way home and try to get the map from themselves to force this onto the last map of the series? Currently following along with Pack from Team Solary, and already a huge slowdown on the side of Soldier. And yeah, that was a very, very slight clip, but that was enough to slow him down dramatically through that first sector.
Yeah, he is already further behind, so the break did not do him any good in this way. And Cauldron and Pack can go back into the lead, could set themselves up for a nice 6 points there after this round if they get an ace. But right now it is 400ths of a second between them. Muda with a very good line though, and Pack going a bit more inside, has a good amount of speed to work with. And look at that, 500 is tearing those players apart. Muda still in there, went a bit wide there, and it's Carl Jr. who magically did not touch the wall.
But watch out, Muda is still in it to win it. He's still in it to try and split the Solary duo apart to prevent them from getting too far gone in the advantage and trying to flip that gap into a 1-point lead. Currently slotting himself into second position just ahead of Carl Jr. Pack going very, very low. Muda going a little bit out wide, and Pack is indeed out. Carl Jr. versus Muda. It's not enough for the Australian to snipe the Canadian by 22 thousandths of a second, but top and bottom for Solary means it will be a draw and allows Alliance to keep their 2-point lead alive.
Yeah, it keeps them in the lead by just 2 points, coming ever so slightly closer to that 10-point threshold. And let's go into round number 5 or 4 or 5, I think it is, if I recall that correctly.
5, yeah.
And well, I mean, Pack and Carl Jr. had the pace, but also Muda with a great identity, and of course Pack with that mistake. So he should avoid that at all costs next time, because you just have to go for a respawn there, obviously, because you're free-wheeled. Pack with a very wide approach there, having a lot of speed to work with, also holding the gear there accordingly, and setting himself up very nicely for that bug slide.
A great left-hander to mark the end of the first sector on courtesy of the Englishman right there to move ahead of the field. But currently he's being caught up to by Muda for the lead of the race, and they're going to go wheel-to-wheel pretty much all the way through this second sector, through the dirt left-hander. Muda going a little bit wide on the exit will allow him to recoup a little bit more speed on the way out. Soldier forced to respawn, and already we're one man down compared to the Alliance. Carl Jr. a little bit too slow on the exit of the box slide there before sector 3.
This looks like a very promising round for Solary again, but the question is, can Muda do it again? Can he deny the ace or victory towards Solary? Good approach from Muda, jumping so far there to the right, having a lot of speed accumulated. Good apex here as well, but I think it is not enough. No, it is not. And another sub 108 from Pack. Slowly but surely, Solary is also coming close, and it's only 1 point between the teams. It is 7-6. Alliance with track point though, but Solary also with 6 points under their belt.
Now with the gap winding back down to that solitary point, allowing the Alliance to keep their lead, will they decide to retaliate with full force and try to leave nothing for Solary and try to get the ace for themselves? We're going to have to find out at the very end of this round right here, following along with Carl Jr. going very tight and unfortunately almost grazing the wall on the inside of the first corner there.
Yeah, and also Soldier jumping so far into the drift. It works out very well for them. We have seen a lot of different lines in the start though. In general, just important to hold that gear, and also look at that. What is that mistake that we were talking about at the start? It's non-existent now anymore, and Pack is also so far ahead here. It is 0.25 of a second. Pack on another monster time here, and he leads the round. Look at that checkpoint, 40.12. This could be another monster.
This could be another monstrous round indeed, but it all matters when he makes it to the finish line. And of course, we still have to wait for Carl Jr. to try and find a way for Solary to try and salvage an ace. But right now, it's Muda sitting in second position, going very close to the inside gate of the first gate jump, manages to make it through clean. Carl Jr. relegated to P4 right now as we make our way through the final jump, through the final gate. It's Pack leading by 2/10 with Muda and Soldier going hand in hand to get a toe and get the draw secured. Pack with a 108.099. That was looking a little bit too close for comfort there at the ending, but it's still Solary moving on to match point, whereas Alliance still on map point number 3, but they do need a victory to pull that off.
Yeah, hardly any speed there for Pack to work with in the ending, but he still stayed ahead, and it is 8-7 track versus match point. 8-7. What a great match from both teams here. We have seen a treat of Trackmania here, and it is Pack and Carl Jr. in first and second. So that is what they are in need of. Muda and Soldier have to act. They have to get that first and third place to force a last final map, Geek.
Yeah, indeed. lead, and yeah, this is looking insanely close, too close to call for now through this particular reactor boost bug slide section. It will be Mudda through the ring CP jump to take the lead, but Pac with a much better setup through this long left-hander recoups all that time lost, and thus will be going onto the rear bumper of Mudda. Scar goes a little bit too wide through the bug slide, and that is the perfect opportunity to strike for Soldier to move up into P2 just before the jump through the gates as we go through set first gate with Pac right now. CJR trying to snipe second place away from Soldier to try and retain some sort of individual honor, but it looks to be a lost cause almost unless we see a desperate move in the final corner. Calcodger to hold on, the answer is a yes, but ultimately in the grand scheme of things, Alliance forced this into the 7th and final map of the series on a score of 10-8 here on Valley.
Oh my god, what a great round there from Alliance, just playing so consistent there, winning back-to-back on Dive and Valley. And we have a last map coming into play. It will be Surf as the decider, guys. This is it. Alliance or Solary, who will move into the grand final and will play against either KC or ITB. We're gonna figure that out after. Whew. Wow.
Yeah, this is quite the titanic showdown that we have been treated to since the start of this series. We've witnessed 3 new world records being beaten over the course of this series alone, which is insane to think about. And now it is all down to this map, Surf. World record being held, as you can see, by the Englishman from Solary, Mr. Thomas Cole. Pac with a 100.532 as we make our way through Sector 1 right now, through the first tiny footbath 90 right-hander before the plastic loop, heading through onboard perspective along with Soldier, heading through the footbath, marking this end of the loop, 90 left, where we saw plenty of people actually touch on the inside and get sent into the hole as a result of that, and a Sector 1 through the slalom, through the gates, right then left, and it will be Soldier Mudda into the lead with Pac in hot pursuit.
We could see a new world champion today. Soldier and Mudda are on first and third. They could go back into the lead here after a very, very enduring series. Soldier off to a very good start, but look at that, just everyone driving so close to each other, and Carl Jr. so close to the wall there as well. How can you even see that in camera? 3, Pac and Soldier are still in the lead. Mudda with a good line as well. Carl Jr. with a great round as well. Let's take a look who's going to win the round here. It's so close between them. A couple of thousand between them. Pac and Carl Jr. in the lead. Pac with a good line there as well. Carl Jr. will win the round. It is the ace and the tie for Team Solary going into the lead.
How on earth did Pac come away without touching the wall at the start of Sector 3? It was not just CJR, it was the 2 players from Team Solary. And what a finish! What a thriller of a first round. Solary scraping away with the ace by 0.04 of a second. This is absolutely insane scenes that we witnessed in this opening round.
Yeah, it looked like Alliance had the upper hand just after that footbath section, but then Solary with insane identities there and just getting that ace. They want to get into the grand final, and they're showing this. They want to defend their title. Carl Jr. wants to win 3 times in a row again.
They do want to win 3 times in a row again, but this time it looks as though Pac might have made a slight touch on the inside of the second part of this glider chicane. It's all down to Carl Jr. to try and challenge up to Mudda to challenge for the lead of the race right now. Heading into Sector 3, going through the long right-hander into dirt, and it will be Mudda going a little bit closer to the wall compared to everybody else to still maintain that 3rd place. Pac still in hot pursuit. Carl Jr. doesn't get the proper jump. He gets the bounce, and thus will be promoting Mudda up into 2nd position. The ultimate opportunity to counteract that ace has come forth, and it will be CJR.
No way!
That. No way! With an ace, 28 thousandths. What a final hairpin from the Canadian Carl-Anthony Cloutier, keeping the lead alive for Solary 4-1.
Mudda and Soldier taking it a bit too safe there. Carl Jr. with such an important snipe there, and there's still 3 points between the teams, but the heat is on, and right now Carl Jr. is delivering the goods for his team, just denying the ace to Mudda and Soldier, which was so important for them in this moment. Here we go, round number 3 it is. Let's follow the perspective from Carl Jr. because he's a little bit further behind, but not too much. It's only a couple of thousands again, Geek.
Indeed, through Sector 1 we go, everybody separated top and tail by 1/10 of a second, first through last. Carl Jr. a little bit further behind, having a bit more of a shallow entry through the reactor glider, manages to make it stick and thus goes back on a 4th match with Soldier for 3rd place. Pac versus Mudda, still battling for the lead. It's currently advantage to the man from the United Kingdom. Pac continuing to hold the lead, but Mudda giving him a good run for his money. This is an insane run that we're witnessing here in the battle for the lead of the race. 21,000 just before the start of the identity there as we go from the perspective of Mudda, moving into the lead of the race. Just a few corners to go. Can Pack retaliate at the hairpin? The answer will be a no, and it will be the victory for the Alliance with a .595, dipping just 1/10 below or over the world record. What a run!
What a run that was, and so important for Alliance to get that victory, to come closer ever so slightly. And this series reminds me of the match against ITB that Solary played. Every round is so fought after, and right now it is Solary still leading, but only by 2 points. Let's follow Muda, who gets a good starting section. Carl Jr. and Pack also in there. It's again a couple of thousandths of a second.
Oh my goodness.
It's again the same.
I cannot believe the round that we're witnessing here on this final map on Surf. It's currently still all to play for, less than 2/10 between first and last, and Carl Jr. moving ahead of everybody else into the lead at the end of the reactor boost part, but also Pack trying to make it a tandem for Solary. This is looking really close, guy, for Sector 3.
Carl Jr. and Pack are in the lead. They can extend the lead there, but again, Carl Jr. with a mistake. Muda and Soldier with the opportunity to go back into the lead, but it is Soldier getting the Zoop and his teammate Muda a little bit further behind. So it is Pack on a great time though. He can win the round here. He will finish. Soldier will not be able to snipe, and there you go. It is another draw and giving us a bit of room to breathe because...
Are you sure about that, sir? Are you sure about that statement?
Probably not. Probably not.
Yeah, because, since the beginning of that last game, it is just those teams pulling out all the stops, going 10/10 from the word go. We are witnessing what this results in. It is basically what Trackmania is all about. Close races, a tiny game of margins where every millisecond counts, every kilometer per hour counts. Making our way through the first loop, through the footpath section we go. It will be Muda heading into the lead at the end of sector number 1, ahead of Carl Jr., Pack, and Soldier in that order.
Again. Whew. Okay, again, let's go into the rounds. My God, dude, I had a bit of a brain lag there, but I mean, this has been such an insane series so far. But let's jump into the ending of this map as Carl Jr. and Muda are fighting it out. Pack with a very good line as well. Soldier has to pull the trigger and overtake the Frenchman here, and also the Englishman ahead of him. Carl Jr. is in there, and let's see what they can do. Muda with a good line, and it seems like he can win the round, as it's looking very good. And also Soldier overtaking. Let's see who will take it. It will be Muda on first and Carl Jr. on second. Soldier will get that victory for his team.
Yeah, and that is very important for the Alliance, because it allows them again to wane the gap back down to that single point, keeping them in contention for that overall match win. Solary on match point themselves. They need to pull off the exact same strat as round 1. They need to get the ace no matter what. Will we witness another 0.5, Kai? I think we might be close.
Yeah, if here then in this round. So let's go and see what Solary can do. 1 ace away of going into the grand final, but also Alliance only 4 points away themselves. So 1 ace is all they're in need of, but currently Muda denies that to them. The pressure is high. Soldier with a great slide there as well. Muda going a bit too outside there, losing a lot of speed, and this could be the ticket being booked into the grand final for Team Solary.
The heat has been cranked up to 11, and right now this is where Solary really truly shines. Through sector 3 we go. Pack going a little bit closer to the wall compared to his fellow teammate TZAR, but watch out for Soldier and Muda. We're still waiting to mount. Soldier got the flush, and thus he will be out of the running for now. Still in P4, Muda in P3, tries to retaliate. Can he try to make a desperate move at the final hairpin? The answer is a no, and thus Pack and Carl Jr. book your tickets into the grand final of the 2023 Trackmania World Championship.
What a match that was. Congratulations to Pack and Carl Jr. after a great performance. And oh, maybe you could have realized that I was a bit out of breath in the last couple of rounds. So,
I think we both were.
Oh my God.
And I think we all were.
So you need to, we just need to take a breather, but also a great performance from Soldier and Muda, coming so close there towards victory, but it wasn't meant to be. They were 1 or 2 rounds away of making it to the grand final themselves.
Yeah, close but no cigar, and you can see the Solary crew already going over to the adversarial camp just to give a little bit of debrief and also encouraging words. You can see already shaking hands between Soldier and Pack, a little bit of a pat on the shoulder as well, and also Muda looking to get a little bit of a pat on the shoulder for Pack. There he is. Yeah, it was a close call, and it was probably arguably one of the favorite teams to get into the grand final in this Trackmania World Championship. Unfortunately, it is a tiny game of margins, and it all came down to that final showdown on Surf, where Solary pulled out all the stops with that 0.5 from Pack on round number 1. proving just what they were wanting to actually achieve. And now that this insanity of a match is over, I guess it is as good a time as ever to thank once again our partners AMD, Alienware, and Caporal, without whom's contribution and support, events like this Trackmania World Championship final stage would not have been possible in the way that it happened. And in case you're interested, there is still a giveaway running, and it is the final day to get that giveaway on your hands to get some amazing prizes. So make sure to check that out whenever you can. I think we should take a look as good a time as ever over the course of the bracket to see what this overall progression has looked like for this Sunday of action. So there it is, the final stage playoff bracket. Solary having won 4-1 in a very convincing fashion versus Big. Karmine Corp 4-2 versus WoW. And now 4-3 versus the Alliance for Team Solary in an absolutely fascinating and enthralling 7-game series. Next up, after this particular interview that will be coming up in a few moments' time, will be Into the Breach versus the Karmine Corp, with the victor coming into the grand final to play against Team Solary. And this could be very interesting, as we alluded to a little bit later on during the match. It could be a case of a rematch of the Group A upper bracket final between ITB and Solary, or we could end up with an all-out French eSport Classico in the form of Solary versus the Karmine Corp, Breno, Tak, Pac, and Gwen. This could be quite the lineup, as it seems as though Solary are back on the interview booth for another time, and Kai is there to get a word from them.
So I still feel a bit lightheaded after that match. Also, I'm sorry, Carl, I called you a Frenchman. So, I mean, also according to the Cupra Cup, maybe you are a little bit, so who knows about that. But, I mean, what a marathon that was, guys. Firstly, congratulations for your victory. And also, Peg, I want to ask you a question. What is wrong with you? What are those world records, man?
Did I do some?
Yeah, a couple of, yeah.
I mean, one, I did Valley, didn't I?
Two, also on Twisted.
Yeah,
Twisted, maybe?
Yeah. I was a bit, after he did that time, I really wanted to push him after that, because it was kind of annoying, because I really want the record on Twisted, but he's a good player.
You can get into the grand final, right?
Hey, now I can try again. But yeah, no, it was a great match. They are incredible. Both Soldier and Mudder, so fast, and to push us like that was just crazy.
Yeah, so I mean, they came prepared. They actually picked some good maps against you, and I think you have to go back and maybe play Dive again.
I know the practice in between the match. I really thought I could do it, and I can't. So we just got to work on it again and just hope for the best, because it's bound to be picked in the final. So yeah, I mean, I'll do my best to not crash it again. We'll see.
Yeah, we will see. But also, Valley was so close there. It was such a nice map to watch. In general, this whole match was just... It was, again, 1 or 2 rounds that decided in the end. And what is your game plan now going to the final? I also asked you that question beforehand, but will you change anything?
No, we'll go with the same strategy. The what?
The secret line.
We'll have to play backflip, actually. We have a secret line. No, we don't. But yeah, we'll just try to do our best, and reaching the final is huge, because Alliance gave us such a sick fight. And the level on a map 7 like this, when the pressure is high, I don't know. It was one of the best matches I've ever played in terms of level in it. So yeah, like, massive respect to them. They were very a tough opponent.
Yeah, so thank you very much for that interview. I think we all need a bit of room for breathing, because there's another great match coming up. What is your prediction for that?
I don't want to say. I have too many friends that play.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much, Carl and Pac. And we're going to see you after a 15-minute break.